Good morning. Blessings to all of you and also to our Zoomies. Thank you for attending today. What a beautiful day it is in Colorado, especially right here, right at our service. All right, let's read our mission statement. Our mission statement, please. Thank you. We are an affirming, heart-centered community co-creating spiritual evolution and illuminating pathways to the divine presence. This morning, I am going to read for you the prayer for protection. And this is something that many of you have heard of before, the story behind it. However, it's just so refreshing to be able to hear it again and understand how important this prayer is for us. And our focus today is on prayer today. So I do want to mention one more thing before I read that our prayer chaplain program training is this coming Saturday from 9:30 to 4, and we have 8 new prayer chaplains. So I'd like you to keep them and hold them in prayer. World War II was raging in Europe, and Silent Unity, the Prayer Center for Unity, received many letters and phone calls from people caught in this conflict. It was 1940, Christmas time, and Mr. Freeman was preparing a service for the Silent Unity workers. Then he was asked if he would write a protection pamphlet. He did. His protecting spirit. He put a verse from the 23rd Psalm on the back. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. One of the women at Silent Unity pulled Freeman aside. Jim, if I were a woman in England and they were dropping bombs on my roof, or if I were a soldier and someone was pointing a loaded gun at me, I wouldn't want to feel like I was walking through the valley of the shadow of death. So back to the drawing board. And as many of you may know, the Prayer of Protection was one of 2 Freeman poems carried to the moon by Apollo astronauts, first in 1969, and his second poem, I Am There, in 1971. May we all be blessed by this universal message of love and protection. This is a little different from how we say it here at the end of our service, and I invite you to hear the words as written originally by James Dillett Freeman. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The mind of God guides me. The life of God flows through me. The laws of God direct me. The power of God abides within me. The joy of God uplifts me. The strength of God renews me. The beautify of God inspires me. Where I am, God is. It's such a beautiful prayer. All right. Go ahead. Then you can come up.
Today I have our daily word. We're actually reading Thursdays, and it's pray for others. My prayers for others bless me too. Prayers give meaning and purpose to my life. Today I will not wait for someone to come to me with prayer need. Instead, I will pause to hold people I encounter, whether known to me or not, briefly in prayer. I affirm the presence of God surrounds and sustains them. Where I send pain or illness, I pray for healing and wholeness. Where there is lack or longing, I affirm sufficiency and flow. Where there is confusion or doubt, I pray for grace and guidance. And when I glimpse joy and lightness in others' life, I give thanks and celebrate their blessings. With each prayer, I too am uplifted as I affirm and divine, unfolding in others' lives my own spiritual nature and expressions more radiantly. And then today's verse is Timothy 2:1. First of all, then I urge that supplication, prayer, intentions, and thanksgiving be made for everyone. Thank you all. It's a blessing for me to be a prayer chaplain. I'll be in the back after service, available for prayer. We also have a prayer box in the back on the outside there to put written requests in. Requests are prayed for by the prayer chaplains at Unity, Silent Unity for 30 days. And I just wish everyone a blessed day.
Here's a congregational song you can join me on. It's called When I Pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into God. Here we go together. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper. I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Together. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. into God.
On February 11th, at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., the Venerable Bhikkhu Panakara, the monks, 19 monks, had walked 2,300 miles from Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C. 103 days later, he addressed the crowd, and this is what he said. Sangha, respected pastors, all venerables, reverends, and all faith leaders, hello, everyone. Today we stand in this holy place. It is overwhelming for us. Behind me right now, we have all faith leaders, and in front of you, you can see all the faith leaders here now for peace. You can see the pictures right here. This is the first time we are walking together, working together, and walking on this path to find peace for ourselves and to share it with our nation and the world. Peace is something we've been looking for, he said. We've been looking for so long. Peace is something we are sickened for so many years, and yet still we cannot find it. We cannot find it. Where is it? Yet it's been with us. It never left us. It's just that we cannot see it. We have locked it and put it in the box and left it somewhere. You have forgotten it. We are not walking from Fort Worth, Texas, to Washington, D.C. to bring you any peace, but to raise awareness. We have the peace. Unlock the box. Free it. Let peace bloom and flourish within you, throughout this nation, throughout this world, so that the world will be a better place for us, for all beings. And of course, to free the peace and unlock that box, we are supposed to have that key. We must have that key to unlock the box. It is about mindfulness. It is within our breath. It is with each breath going in and going out. Mindfulness within our breath is for all beings, because this is something we naturally have and that we are born with. For that reason, we must all practice mindfulness. And this is how. It is very simple. He says all we have to do is come back within. Just put your left hand over your heart and your right hand on top of that. And gently close your eyes and take a deep breath. Yes. And take another deep breath. And one more. Feel each and every heartbeat. Be mindful on each and every heartbeat. Pay full attention to the heartbeat. Everything starts as a single word from a stranger or from our family or a loved one or a friend. One minor thing might trigger us. Human beings, we deserve better. The nature of our mind collects everything from out there like a hard drive. Our mind is a sieve. Everything you hear, you taste, you see, you smell, you touch, everything is recorded deeply in our mind. We live with this every single day. These thoughts, millions of thoughts that we can't catch. Our monkey mind is ready to jump. Our thoughts pop up and the monkey chases after it. We collect everything from the outside, and at the end we only hold sufferings. Happiness and peace is something temporary, and yet peace is something you can practice. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in peace. Breathe out peace. If you can manage your emotions and your feelings, you can manage peace. Go back to the heartbeat. Feel it. Be mindful of each beat. Peace. 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 As you come back to this space, repeat after me. Today is going to be my peaceful day. And again, today is going to be my peaceful day.
This next song, written by John Denver, I want you to imagine your heart singing it to you. And if your heart isn't quite singing this to you today, imagine the great heart of all singing this to you. Welcome to my morning, welcome to my day. I'm the one responsible, I made it just this way. To make myself some pictures, see what they might bring. I think I made it perfectly, I wouldn't change a thing. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. Welcome to my happiness. You know it makes me smile. It pleases me to have you here for just a little while we open up the spaces and try to break some chains. And if the truth is told, they will never come again. La la la, la 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 la. Sing it with me. La la la, la 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 la. Welcome to my evening, the closing of the day. I could try 1,000,000 times and never find a better way to tell you that I love you and all the songs I play. And thank you for allowing me inside this lovely day. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la.
Oh, yes, please applaud. I think the beauty of expression is letting ourselves be free, to absolutely express the joy, the love, the laughter, and then to come together when it's tough. So, Carol, thank you for reading the prayer for protection, the origin. Many of us have been around unity for a while, but we forget some of the foundations, and to recognize that James Dillett Freeman's words were said and left on the moon. That's pretty impressive. Out of this world, you might say. Rhett, thank you for doing our daily word. That is a special request from our prayer chaplains to bring back. And I know one of the churches I was a part of, we didn't do it. And then for 5 years when I served in Florida, it was very important to them. So I hope that you're able to take those words in and just let it be the beginning of the new day, as you listen to, and today especially, as we're talking about us speaking to God, and we say that is prayer. And then Rose, you can tell I have a little voice issue going on, so at the last minute I asked if she would jump in, and truly, the monks that some of you may have been following wound up in Washington, D.C., the end of their journey after going through most of the southern states. And we at Unity had 3 ministers that represented us and actually stood there with the monks, welcomed them, prayed with them, got their pictures taken with them. So if you want to see that, you have to go to our Facebook. So we are well represented in the collective consciousness of not just our way, but all of our ways. So what a beautiful, beautiful tribute. And Rose, you did a great job. Thank you. And then Lindsay, I told her, if I lose my voice, get up here and start playing again. So she picks the perfect music. It takes all of us to make our community run smoothly, to bring you the gifts and the joys. So when I was preparing our conversation today, I started with 36 years ago. In my early Unity teachings, they said prayer is us talking to God. Meditation was us listening for what God had to say back. Now, I believe today we don't necessarily have to fold our hands, close our eyes, and be quiet, for we hear God all around us. We know that infinite intelligence already knows everything about us. So when we pray, when we align our words, it is for our consciousness, for us to understand what is it within us that is percolating. Maybe we are asking for support. And above and beyond that, in Unity, we pray affirmatively, as if it is already done. And that can be challenging. because sometimes there's really big stuff on our hearts. You might be worried about Mom. Her memory's beginning to change. You might be worried like, this has been going on for about a week. What's up with this? But instead of going into that place of victimhood or even feeling less than, if I am part of the greater consciousness, then I declare that to be true, that I am strong. I am words. The I am, the God, I am words. I am strong. And maybe today, for some reason, I'm taking a little bit of a rest because I know what is true for me when the God of my being is trying to have a conversation with me and I'm not listening. It affects my health or it affects my finances because I pay attention to both of those. So I wanted to share, Dana and I are having a great time together, sort of as roomies, if you will. And we were talking one evening that we often get messages in the shower. That's a very inopportune time to take notes. But we often get our messages in the shower. And I thought about that. Water is the element of emotion. So when we want our crops to grow, and especially in our ancient days, we want lots of water to come in and nourish our fields, to replenish us. When we are playing down a river, we are buoyant in the water. We are floating. Any mermaids out here? We might have pretended that as we went under that water, we became one with the water. Oftentimes in unity, we say that we are like the waves of the ocean in relationship to God. We have all the same properties as that magnificent water of God, if you will, and we are individual expressions. So water plays a really important role with us. Now, some of you know I came from 5 years in Florida. What does Florida have? They have hurricanes. Now, I had never been introduced to a hurricane. I had lived most of my life, not all of it, about 37 years of it, in Georgia. So we had tornadoes. That's air, the element of air. But I get to Florida, and some of you may have recalled, August, September, October of 24, they had 3 huge hurricanes. The one in August, I was at Unity Village, and I'm so sorry. My plane got delayed. I had to stay another day. The second one, Helene, came in September. She didn't just start in Florida. She went on the coast and decided she was going to go up in the Carolinas. And for any of you who paid attention to the news, she devastated Lake Lure, Chimney Rock, all these areas in the mountains of Carolina. How does a hurricane get that far up the coast? And we heard about camps and children missing and families missing. And to this day, it's still a very devastated area. Now, one thing I have watched in the last 5 years, when the Cajun army comes, it is serious stuff. They can get into places where the National Guard can't get. So the Cajun army came and they brought all their resources. And there were private helicopters that took off from Georgia and in the Carolinas, and they airlifted them supplies, food, diapers, medicines. So we came together as a country once again in a time of devastation. And then here came October. Like we hadn't had enough already, and here came Milton. And Milton was aiming straight for Tampa Bay. Now, I lived about 10 minutes from Tampa Bay. Remember, I told y'all I'm a Georgia girl. This whole thing about Tampa Bay's water completely going out of the bay, what does that mean is going to eventually have to happen? That water's going to go back in the bay. And that's where the devastation occurs. So mystical. In the 1500s, there was an indigenous tribe that lived on the coast of Florida in the area where I was. And each and every day they had a relationship with the elements. And they prayed in gratitude, thanking Mother Earth, thanking the waters for the fish and their surplus and the energy fields. And for almost a century, they were on those land until, of course, white people came and brought disease. And by the late 1600s, they were completely erased. But what stayed were their prayers, their words, what they soaked into the land. And so when I was there about 3 years and people came up to me and said, it's not going to happen here. I said, are y'all watching the forecasters? It's coming right at us. Milton was a 5. A 5 is 185 mile per hour winds. It is devastation. And so you might ask, little Georgia girl, why didn't you get on the road and go home back to Georgia? My Georgia friends called me. They said, come on. I said, I got monsters. I had 2 huge dogs, 120 pounds and 85 pounds. They said, come. So my daughter was living with me. She's a beautiful 36-year-old, quadruple Leo, high-spirited, flaming red hair, all energy. She said, now, Mom, I know you're taking care of your people, but this is serious. Like, we need to get out. Well, if you know a little thing about emergency exits, if you don't do it in the beginning, there's no exit. There's no exit. There's not enough ways you can get all those millions of people up a turnpike and out of the devastation. And they run out of gas. They go up to Orlando. 2 hurricanes turned and went to Orlando. So it's like, dude, where am I going to be safe? But my daughter got real serious about this. She goes, no, I'm not kidding, Mom. We really need to leave. And I said, I'm not leaving my people. And I looked at the neighborhood. Half of it was deserted. People came to the church. It's a metal building on a higher elevation. So people who lived in modular homes were ordered to evacuate. We were ordered to evacuate. And I'm looking at my 2 monsters, and they are calm. They are completely calm. Animals pick up more than a human can, way in advance of a human, and mine were calm. And I thought, maybe we're going to be okay. Because if we're not going to be okay, it's not worrying about the structure, it's worried about the wind. So all across this nation, I don't know if y'all paid attention, they were praying all across this nation for Tampa Bay, Florida. In the early morning hours, when the height of that storm hit, it was a 3. It was a 3. A 5 would have decimated most of us. It did do damage. It did take homes away. It caused lots of damage, but it was a 3. So people who doubt or don't necessarily believe in the power of prayer, I do. And the gratitude that poured forth from all of us in that region, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for believing that we were going to take this on and we were going to survive. And I'll tell you what, about 3 o'clock in the morning, the big storm had already hit. At 3 o'clock, the waters were coming up to the lanai, up to my back door, and now my dogs were upset. My daughter told them, we got to go out and go potty. There ain't no way my big old fur babies were going to go potty in that storm. I watched that water rising up on the streets, coming up the front yard, flooded my neighbor next door, didn't flood me. Maybe we prayed a little bit harder. I don't know. I watched my dogs. They're like, ain't happening. So they didn't get nervous until after the fact. And eventually, in Mother Earth and nature, the water did come back into Tampa Bay, but not all at once. So do you believe it is possible that through our words, when we pray, can it outlive our lifetime? Yeah. There is an energy field that we create, and for this tribe that lived on the coast, they were in congruence with nature. They were thanking the waters that supplied their fish. They were doing the things that they did for everyday living, and it wasn't until a period of time when they were no more, but those blessings still existed. Our words have power. And if we believe that to be true, maybe it lasts beyond our lifetime. It certainly worked for us, being in that little town of Florida. So I do hear, here in this area, we have to be careful of fires. So I will leave from the water element and come into the fire element and see the work that we can do here. We went up into Cripple Creek yesterday for the ice statues, and it's a beautiful, beautiful drive. And on the way up there, Dana was showing me some of the areas that had been blackened by the fire, but the fire wasn't black anymore. It's kind of turned to ash, kind of whitish. And if you look at the resilience of Mother Nature, the green is coming back, the new life. The new life. So we are in a cycle. We ebb and we flow. Just like when the monks talked about breathe in and breathe out. We say this too shall pass. And if we pay attention, regulate our emotions, the highs and the lows that we go through will pass. And we will come back to a place where we have some semblance of divine order, that when we have a conversation, we are no longer in the height of that emotional turmoil, that hurricane, that fire, but we are breathing in consciousness so that we can have conversations that are healing, that bring us together instead of separate us. Because I think even today, in this nation, in certain areas of complete disruption, if we sat down and had breakfast together, if we took a walk up in the mountains together, if we were in awe of the ice sculptures together, we would have more in common than different. That I think overall, as a human race, as a humanitarian, we want the best for each other. There's a few strays out there that we're going to hold in the high watch. We're going to hold in the high watch. So a question might be, what is prayer really about? And I would ask, have you ever had a request for prayer? Have you ever had someone come to you and ask you to pray with them? And I imagine many of us have heard, well, keep me in your prayers. My family's having a hard time right now. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep my job. I have a health issue. Please pray for me. And that's what we do with our prayer chaplains, how we teach them to pray for one another. And even though Unity has a special way they like us to do it, we all know that if you sat with anyone in here and they said, would you please pray for me? And you may not have the words, but if you were to hold their hands in consciousness and look at them and hold that sacred space for them, there is an energy that goes beyond words. And you have that power. Everyone in this room has that power. It's not about the words. It's about the feeling behind the words. It's the intention of what we want to see for each other. And do you know the most beautiful gift in the world? When you pray for someone else, guess what you get? You get the same vibration. One of my examples that I love, if I were going to go for Carol, and we'll just say it's her birthday, and I'm going to buy her a beautiful spray of flowers, and I go to the florist. Now, in my mind, I'm already excited. I'm excited because I want to do something for someone I care about. And I go in the florist, and the florist is now excited. Oh, it's your friend's birthday. Well, let me show you this, and let me show you this. And I pick out a beautiful spray. And then I go to Carol's house. She has no idea. And she opens the door, and I give her this beautiful spray of flowers. Who got the gift? We both did. We both did. I have already been expectant. I have already had an intention of bringing joy to her. And because I want to bring that to her, I already own it. Do you see how this works? There's no just you or just me. We're all in this together. Prayer is the very same way. When you open your mind, when you hold that intention, when you declare that to be a sacred space, then the gift is already here. Just like the monk said, we didn't come to bring you peace. We came to bring you an awareness of peace. So we're not coming here to pray for you. We are, because you're asking for it. But the prayer is already there. The answer is already there. The affirmation is already present. We're just opening our minds to infinite possibilities. Infinite possibilities. So 2 things I want to share with you. We are going to begin the Lent season next week. And we have these beautiful little booklets out there in the foyer, and Yolanda has them. It's going to walk us through Lent. And if you've never really done this before, Unity does a beautiful job. And I invite you, they're only $2 each. I invite you to buy one of these and follow along. Whether I have a voice or not, I'm going to post them on Facebook. Not every day, but every other day or so. So you can follow. So we're in this energy field together, this consciousness, this upliftment. And then the other thing I want to share with you, one of my favorite books they did, The Power of Prayer. Still in print. I'm not sure if we have any, but I want to share this with you as we close. This is the prayer of guidance, and I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. Take a nice breath in. And just release. One more breath in. And just release. For that beautiful power of 3, and the monks did it as well. One more breath in. And just release. Breathing in the moment. Breathing into the moment. Quieting the mind. Stilling the heart. Deepening into the silence. Listening. Allowing. Open and receptive to divine guidance. Dissolving limited understandings. Letting go of what I think I know. Accessing infinite wisdom. I am the knower that knows. I am divinely guided. I live and breathe into infinite wisdom with ease and grace. Today and every day, we take this blessing in. We know that we are made of that same beautiful, creative, infinite wisdom source, the source of all that is, that as we walk each day along our journey, we welcome in these new infinite possibilities. We can open our minds and see the world differently than maybe when we started yesterday. For each and every day is a new day. We affirm this wonder. We affirm this mystery. We walk in gratitude, uplifted, amazing individuals that we are, bringing forth this harmonious collective consciousness. We say, thank you, God. Thank you, Source. Thank you, infinite creative intelligence, that we are doing this together. And so it is. Amen.
And now for our offertory prayer. And let's say this together. We hold our gift to our heart and fill it with the intentions of grace, love, and peace. Know that it goes out into the world, blessed and multiplied, serving this community and the world to the fullest. And so it is.
Well, you might be saved. You might be reborn. You might own a car with a big loud horn. Maybe it's just news on your television, or it might be God trying to get your attention. Are you an engineer, or working on the farm, or a Casanova with a whole lot of charm? It might be a mouse living in your kitchen, or it might be God trying to get your attention. Well, it might be in the church house, it might be on the street. Somewhere or another, every soul has got to meet. It might be in the city, it might be in the town. One way or another, we're gonna find that higher ground. Well, you might be deaf, or you might be blind. You should put the message right in your mind. Might look like a plan or a coalition, or it might be God trying to get your attention. Yes, it might be God trying to get your attention. Oh, you know it's gonna be God trying to get your attention.
Thank you, Lindsay. Okay. And now we would like the ushers to gather the children to come forward. And Dana? And Dana.
Good morning. Are we still on? Okay, I'm going to try to keep this close by me and close to my mouth. So we don't have children today, but we're expecting children soon. And we do have some volunteers. Thank you very much for those of you who have started volunteering. I also have some sign-up sheets for inquiry about volunteers. We are going to have a volunteer meeting on the 24th. Yes, at 3 o'clock here in the sanctuary. And you can get in touch with me or Debbie, Opera, anybody that wants to kind of be interested in that. You can sign up. There's little forms back there. If you are interested, it's on the table. And just fill those out and hand those either to Yolanda or myself, okay? Also, it's time for our affirmation, and we're going to ask in our affirmation, we're going to ask God for our children with our affirmation. And then we have to listen when he answers us. So today, I want you to put your child hat on. And from now on, we're going to have these available to us at all times. So if you are shy, don't want to come up on stage, or you don't want to sing out in your own voice, we always have these guys. So we're going to read the affirmation today. Are you ready? We affirm that our children are drawn here in love and joy. They come with open hearts and curious. Together, we create a sacred place where young hearts are welcome and they thrive. Our community grows brighter and more alive. So it is. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. You did well. Thank you. All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone who participated in the service today, especially our Reverend Tracey. We're just so blessed to have you. And Lindsay, we just always enjoy all of your songs. They're just so beautiful and so right on target for the message today. And our fellowship hall members, everyone, we so appreciate all of you. And now we would like to welcome our newcomers. If there's some newcomers today, if you'd raise your hand, the ushers will be happy to assist you and give you some information. And just know that you can come and have lunch with us in the fellowship hall, and we invite you there, and we will visit with you, and we are so glad you're here today. All right, now for our announcements. They're coming. And just wait, you're there. So first of all, I really want to thank Susan Anderson for this beautiful array of flowers. Isn't that cool? I love it. And this is in honor of her late mother, Ruby, who would have been 100 years old. Is that today or, oh, actually today. How awesome. Well, she's shining over you today. Then our youth and family ministry. If you're interested again in joining the youth and family ministry, then please attend the informational meeting on Tuesday, the 24th at 3 p.m. Right here in the sanctuary. And let's say, we said this about youth affirmation together. So I think we can go to the next section. The Let Them theory class with Reverend Tracey. And let's join her as we explore and learn from the best-selling book, The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. It does start Tuesday, March 3rd from 10 to 11:30 for 6 weeks, and you can contact Yolanda in the office to register. It's going to be an awesome class. And I think there's some books available. There's a few. Okay, thank you. And next, we have a very important annual meeting. We have this every year. It's our Unity election and board business. And it will be held on Sunday, March 15th from 12 to 2 p.m. in person here in the sanctuary and online via Zoom. However, there will be no online voting. It's just too difficult to do that. I do believe we're going to have some absentee ballots, perhaps. So do see the Yolanda or the Unity office for that information. However, members and non-members are always welcome to attend, but only Unity members can vote on Unity business. We will be having a Unity new member class with Reverend Tracey, and it's scheduled for Saturday, March 21st from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And if you're new to Unity or need to reinstate your membership, maybe we're at another Unity church or somewhere else, and now you can reinstate into Unity by being in this class. Sign up to attend, and you sign up in the Unity office. If you have questions, just ask Yolanda. Reminders, check the Unity newsletter, bulletin boards, online calendar, and Facebook page for updates. And let's stand for the prayer for protection, please. And again, if you'd like to be added to the Unity newsletter, please let Yolanda know. So here is that very special, special prayer that we still hold forth today. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And now, before we sing our closing song, we're going to turn to the back of the room. Put your hands up. We're going to sing Happy Birthday to Reverend Tracey. Because it was her birthday this past week. There she is. What a delightful celebration. Yay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Reverend Tracey. Happy birthday. And now let's sing our peace song.